Alright. Let's see what we got going on here. Alright, so we've been talking about the ZEEBS lately, or ZEEBS. So here's what I came up with. Let's look at ZEEBS, and here's a little tip. Like if you want to save a trade, so to speak, here's what I did. I put in this crazy, $1 debit with the correct amounts for the ZEEBS trade. And so what you can do is you can kind of save your setup, because what you do is you right click on the one that was rejected, and you set up a similar order. It doesn't show it on the screen, but trust me, it's there, because there we are, similar order. So in that way you can do that. And I have another one here. This is a butterfly. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let me go similar order. Yep. Okay, so that's kind of how you save these. So here's what I was thinking on the ZEEBS. Let's go back to that. Similar order on the ZEEBS. So here's our setup. Curve, analysis, go away. Oh, well, that's because there's a debit. So let's change this to just the mid. Okay, so here's our valley of death, right? Our valley of death is at the 435 strike. Max loss of 1564. That's right at the valley of death. Now, this is like a $2,000 trade. Like the midpoint on this debit is $1,900. So my thought is, why not center a butterfly right on that, and we can make it go from, let's say, 420 to 440. You can't really center. You can center it on here, but it's going to be symmetrical. There's going to be a point. There's going to be still some area in here that you could lose out. So if we wanted to make the butterfly end on 440, or we could just make it a bigger butterfly. Let's do that. We can make it like a big butterfly, but centered on 435, so that it would cover. In other words, your butterfly would be this huge spike above, if it's centered on the 435 on your max loss. So let's look at that. So what do we have? This one, similar order, and we're gonna center that on the 435. So that makes it asymmetrical. And yeah, let's just make it go up to where it's green up here, because after about 442, that's this is where you want it to turn green on your ZEEBS. So 446, and that's 11 points wide. So let's bring this down to 424. Yeah, I've got a free butterfly in effect there. Yeah, so there's your max profit. Max loss $42,000. That doesn't look right. I don't know how you'd have a max loss if it's symmetrical. That's bizarre. Interesting. Well, let's bring these in a little bit. Let's make it like 6 points wide. Maybe I misplaced one. 429. Yeah, I don't know why that's so wide. So let's move it out 2. Move it out 2. Yeah. So there you go. Move it out 2. Move it out 2. 218 debit. Okay, that makes more sense. I don't know why it was that wide. So your ZEEBS right here. Remember this number, 443, where the green bar is. 427 to 433. Let me write that down. This is kind of difficult to show. I'm not gonna like overproduce this, to where these are like overlaid on one another. So that's green from 427 to 443. Let's call it. This is our butterfly. So your max profit is 782, and that's going to be at 435. Yep, 435 strike, 782. Now let's go back to the ZEEBS, which was centered on the 435. There's our ZEEBS table. Curve 435, and the midpoint. So max loss was 1564, but we have a butterfly that, if you do get to the max point, was worth 700 and something bucks. So that takes a lot of sting out of this loss. So that's my recommendation, and that covered us from like 427 to 443. So I mean, pretty much all that. We could probably go back and play with it and make it bigger. So let's do that. Replace the order, or clear that. Activity, similar order. Don't let me forget to replace or undo these. So let's move this out to 445, add 4 points to that side, 427 on that side. Yeah, so this is even less. So yeah, and we'll go back to the curve, make sure we did that right. Yep, see there's a big spike now centered on the 436. I think I misplaced one of those, but you see the point here. I mean 435. Move. 435 is 8, and then 443, was it? 8 points and 8 points. Yep, 8 points and 8 points, so 668. And this is not a whole lot for insurance. I mean, that's a $2,000 trade. We could pay $132 more and get some insurance. We can eliminate a huge chunk of that valley of death if that is where SPY ended up. All the way between 428 and 442. Yep, 428, and so yeah, you see my point. You can play with this and make this to where, you know, the butterfly was even wider. It should be like wider and wider. So anyway, somebody prove me wrong. Yeah, max loss is 1564, so you can get about half of that back with your cheap butterfly that you're paying a small additional debit for. And if you were willing to do a broken wing butterfly and then trade it back for cheap later, if SPY goes up and then back down, you know, when SPY moves up, you could trade your broken wing butterfly in for a free butterfly. And I think we all know how to do that, but you basically do a broken wing butterfly, and then you bring the lopsided wing up to where it's an equidistant wing like we had here. Anyway, you know how to do that. Somebody doesn't know how to do that, ask in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video, but there's tons of videos out there on how to get free butterflies. That's all you're looking for. Just look for a video from Tasty Trade, Tasty Mike on free butterflies. So anyway, rebuttals. Happy to hear rebuttals. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And if you're wondering what the QR code is and that bit.ly link is, that's for a new credit card that's coming out soon called Curve. It's not new, actually. They've had it in Europe, and it's going to be a chip card, and you're going to be able to load all your chip cards and other cards onto it and carry one credit card, so you can maximize those cashback rewards. Because like, I was in the grocery store tonight, and one of my credit cards that I did not have with me had a 5% grocery cashback, because I've got different credit cards for different reasons, and that's a whole nother video, a whole nother story. So that's a thought. Scan that QR code and just get on the wait list. It doesn't cost anything. It's going to link all your cards together. I'm sure they're skimming some money off the credit card fees. And here's the biggest reason to do it, is because they're going to give 1% on top of all the other rewards that your credit card gives you. So it's going to be like, okay, extra 1% across the board for nothing. Yes, please sign me up. And I did sign up. So you can help me out by using my link, because that's going to bump me up on the wait list. If I get high enough on the wait list, I get like 10% cash back. So like, subscribe, get on the wait list for your own good, for your own free money. I love passive income. So see you next time, and thanks for watching.